Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel, and of course, welcome to my home. Buckle up, it is time to fly to Snake Mountain. Yes, we have a number of Harry and Meghan related stories to talk about today. So the first story that I want to talk about is one that I spoke about in a video a few times ago, possibly the last video actually. I do forget. Time seems to move on. But it was about the jewellery, about those earrings. And it seems to be that there has been a correction made in the newspapers reporting on it. But I smell a rat, and we'll talk about all of that in a moment. So the initial story about those earrings were that Meghan had not paid for them and had retained them when they were kind of a gift, if you like, from the jewellery company. Now, the story has changed. The headline now reads, Meghan Markle purchased a pair of £1,990 diamond earrings from Dragon's Den hopefuls as founders reveal the royal plug raised business revenue to $1.2 million. Okay, so one slight difference in the article is that they are now saying that Meghan paid for the earrings as opposed to alluding to that she had not paid for them. At the bottom of the amended article, it now reads, this article has been amended since initial publication to correct a suggestion that Kimai had gifted a pair of earrings to the Duchess of Sussex. We are happy to clarify that the Duchess purchased the earrings. Now, I smell a rat. I smell the Sussex PR machine in overdrive. I sense that the Montecito monster is backpedaling furiously, trying to cover her tracks. So this is what I think. This is my opinion. This is my view based on how things have gone in the past. So we know the level of PR control that the Archewell machine, Harry and Meghan's PR team have over kind of events and trying to control or counteract PR when it comes to Harry and Meghan. We have seen this in emails that were released when trying to set up a visit to a school. We have seen the fact that, Harry and Meghan, there are more holes in Harry and Meghan's truth bombs and stories than a size 12 pair of Crocs. That is putting it mildly. So we've seen emails where they've really tried to control. We've seen emails where they or their team have tried to, I suppose, persuade people of things, convince them that the material was only going to be used for this or that, and then actually it was used to make money. Making money off the back of school children, I think, was one of their particular low points of last year in terms of revelations about them, amongst a multitude of other things, of course. So, do I smell a rat? Yes, indeed, I do. The way that the article was first written, using sort of quotes about the techniques that the Kimai founders used, i.e. very sort of aggressively going after celebrities, sort of target emailing them, sort of gifting them or giving them products to wear, to raise the profile, to make more money, was and is, I think, their strategy. And of course, there was no suggestion initially that Harry and Meghan, or Meghan in particular, had paid for them at the time. So this is the one detail that has been omitted, is the when they paid for them. It's my theory that since all of this blew up, and of course, all the accusations of breaking royal protocol, and of course, ethics when you are a working royal, I think it got Harry and Meghan's backs up. And I think that what they tried to do, as they always try to do, is backpedal and backtrack and cover their tracks. So this is a scenario that I think happened. It all blew up. They were looking bad. I think they or their team contacted Kimai to say, we would like to pay for the earrings. Of course, Kimai is probably going to accept, on the condition, of course, that Kimai come out and make a statement that the earrings had been paid for, which at that time, if they had been paid for, would be correct because they had been paid for. But but the crucial element is, when were they paid for? Were they paid for at the time they were received, way back when, round about the Smart Works time, or were they paid for recently when all of this blew up? That is one key detail that I think is very, very, very important. And also, we cannot discount or discredit the fact that people lie. People lie to cover tracks. People have ulterior motives. Of course, the owners of Kimai have got their own business interests to consider. I do not blame them for that. You know, if I had a business, that was making millions of dollars, I think I'd probably be the same, to be quite honest. You know, if one person who had helped by wearing the product, make it such a success, using the royal family's fame, or, that all those eyeballs that are attached and attracted to the royal family, I would be sort of trying to maybe look out for them as well. It just kind of makes business sense to do so. So we cannot discount the fact, or we cannot overlook the matter of when it was paid for. I don't really have a doubt in my head that they were paid for. I don't think, legally, if ever it did come up in court, they would have to produce probably documents to say, that it was paid for. But I am doubtful as to what those documents would show in relation to when it was paid for. To me, it does seem a little bit sketchy, and I don't think we have the full detail of this story. To me, it makes a lot more sense that there is backpedaling. A lot of backpedaling. And I certainly think that, these accusations made by the newspaper initially shook the very foundations of Snake Mountain, and the Montecito monster that inhabits Snake Mountain, along with her ginger lapdog pup, I think were probably enraged, absolutely enraged. So that's my take on the story. It is my opinion, it is my theory, but yes, I think it's a question that needs asking. When were they paid for? Were they paid for at the time, or were they paid for over the last few days when this story blew up? It's in the detail, my loves, that make things make sense. Right, so the next story that I want to talk about coming out of Snake Mountain is one I've been talking about again over the last few videos, and that is relating to Netflix and Harry and Meghan's ongoing relationship with Netflix, and, how the deal potentially, well, I don't think it will be renewed in 2025. It's up in 2025. So, at the suggestion that the only thing that they can barely produce, in fact, I don't even think they can produce a bowl of cereal, there has been stories coming out about how much is in production, how much work they've got going on, which I think is just complete damage limitation. So, Harry and Meghan plan new Netflix film and TV series. So I think the film is what we already know, when Netflix purchased the rights to the book. So again, I think Netflix are going to be heavily involved in producing all of this stuff. I would love to know actually how much Archewell Productions, which is the money-making arm of Archewell, it's nothing to do with the charity or the non-profit, whatever you want to call it. I would love to know how much input they are actually having, because I don't think it's much. I think this is just a case of Harry and Meghan putting their names to things. I don't actually think that they are producing terribly too much. Anyway, that goes for the documentaries that they've already made as well, and all the other projects. So with a bunch of new projects, with a movie and unscripted shows in development. I mean, their life seems like a scripted show, doesn't it? So an executive at the streaming giant reveals. Again, I think this is sort of backpedaling. It's trying to cover tracks. It is trying to damage limitation. It's damage limitation control over the $80 million that they, or pounds, whatever it is, that they have reportedly received over what will be a 5-year deal. But as we know, there has been uncertainty over whether the deal will be renewed next year. Hasn't that come around really quick? Especially after their £15 million Spotify contract was cancelled. So it's not looking good. I think Netflix are just going all out to just try and get something back from this. And of course, it will all hinge upon whether or not, when they eventually come to do all the figure crunching at the end of this time, they will know, Netflix will know, whether or not Harry and Meghan have been a success for them or not. Have they been worth the 80 million that they have been paid? I suspect that it will be a big fat no. Plus also, during this past 5 years, the actions of what Harry and Meghan have done themselves, their own deeds, their own words, their own actions towards, in particular, Harry's family, has gone a long way to damage their PR. And I think Netflix will know that they are what we describe in the UK as being Marmite. You either love Marmite or you hate it. And I think they are very, very divisive figures when it comes to the general public. And I think a lot of people have had their eyes opened when it comes to Harry and Meghan because of what Harry and Meghan have been doing themselves. So I think that most definitely Netflix will have come to the conclusion that you can't put that level of monetary value on an entity that is so divisive and that I don't think has actually earned that level of money back. You know, apart from, you know, where are they going to go is what I'm saying. So they've already, you know, dissed their family, well, Harry's family. Where do they go from there? What ideas do they have? I think Netflix already know that they are struggling to come up with ideas, struggling to come up with the production value. So personally, my loves, I cannot see it. So Netflix Chief of Content, Bella Barjaria, has revealed that Harry and Meghan actually have a bunch in development under their Archewell Productions arm. So according to the Times, a Netflix promotional event in Hollywood, that the Sussexes were working on a couple of unscripted things. Well, that means two. A couple means two. Thought to be documentaries, plus a film and a series, which are all very early in development. Well, early in development, that is key for they have not anywhere near got off the ground. Specific details on the shows are unknown. Well, that's because there isn't any. Anyone can say that you have things in development. It doesn't make it true, my loves. And it certainly, I mean, we already know from Spotify that, you know, Harry's and Meghan's ideas left a lot to be desired. So, yes, I think very early in development is a bit of a no-go area, if you ask me. So specific details unknown, but the film could be related to Harry and Meghan's planned $3 million adaptation of the novel Meet Me at the Lake. Yes, I think it probably is relating to that. And of course, you know, I think Netflix have a very, very, very high involvement with that. I wonder how much Archewell Productions are actually doing for themselves. Netflix could have done it themselves. So, yes, I think that time's up. I said it in the previous video, or the one before, I forget. Harry and Meghan's time at Netflix is most definitely up. All of this kind of backpedaling PR spinning is not washing with anyone. When it comes to it, you have to produce the goods. Harry and Meghan have almost, well, they've had 4 years, but of course, it will be 5 years next year since they have had the deal. And what of substance have they actually produced? Certainly, in my view, not £80 million worth. So, hashtag time's up for Harry and Meghan in Snake Mountain. I think the Montecito monster and the ginger lapdog will actually be quaking because they will want to be planning ahead for the next period of their life. And I don't think they will be able to count Netflix as part of that. Right, so the next thing that I want to kind of touch base on is, remember the One Love premiere where Harry and Meghan attended with the Jamaican Prime Minister? And of course, the Jamaican Prime Minister is wanting to get Jamaica to a point where it removes the King, Harry's father, as the head of state, the monarch, the sovereign of the country, which of course is their own individual choice. But to then kind of for the King Charles's son, Harry, to be mingling with it, it's a political kind of minefield, and was most definitely a kick in the teeth, a blow to Harry's father. So many saw it as a major faux pas and a diss. And I think I speculated at the time that Harry and Meghan, potentially were being used by the Jamaican Prime Minister as pawns in a much larger game. And I think that has been proven now because of the statement that the Jamaican the Jamaican Prime Minister has used. So, Mr. Holness told The Gleaner, I take it that's a publication, "I was pleased and I was also very happy to see royals coming to participate in this major event. Unsuspecting, little did I know that I'd be drawn into some internal issues in the United Kingdom. But so it is so. More publicity for Jamaica." That just goes to prove Harry and Meghan were just pawns in a much larger political game. It goes to show that Harry and Meghan are not very clever. They were used. They were used by the Jamaican Prime Minister to get more publicity for his cause. And they fell for it hook, line and sinker. The bottom line is Harry and Meghan are making a series of disastrous choices. Whether or not they were invited, you make that judgment call. What will this mean? What will this represent? And Harry, who has been brought up a royal, should know that even things down to like what jewellery you wear, it shows a symbolism. Where you choose to go, where you choose to eat, who you choose to be seen with, it all adds up. We know that Prince Andrew has made a series of spectacular blunders when it comes to his association with Jeffrey Epstein. And it works the same way for Harry. If you associate with people that have particular causes on their mind, then you are embroiled. You become involved with it. It's just a series of spectacular blunders and bad choices and mistakes. Harry and Meghan most definitely were used. It just goes to show their lack of awareness of what impact, I suppose, not impact they have. I think they definitely have less of an impact now that they are non-working royals and they are not using the HRH. But you still cannot take away from the fact that Harry is the King's son. He is in the line of succession, which of course is a completely separate issue altogether. And when you are a Prince of the United Kingdom, technically an HRH, the King's son, who you associate with does have a certain level of impact, especially when you are not shrinking away into the background, especially when you are not wanting complete privacy. You are putting yourself out there with books and documentaries and whatever. So you have a choice. And I think Harry and Meghan are making bad or very ill-informed choices at best. So yes, it's all crumbling down, and all these different things add up to make Harry and Meghan look completely foolish and out of their depth. Now, of course, the next thing that I want to talk about coming out of Snake Mountain is, of course, all of this about LA-based legal drama Suits. Now, I have never, ever watched Suits. I never have, I never will. I'm not interested. It's just not really in my bag. But people are speculating, will there be a Meghan Markle return? Will she come back and reprise her role as Rachel, whatever it was? I don't know. Maybe there's a role for, I don't know, a gold digger. I don't know. No idea what plots there were or was or what they're going to be. But I don't think so. I think Meghan thinks of herself as being too high and mighty and above her acting career. She could not wait to get out of acting. As soon as she saw Harry, this little lost ginger lapdog, she pounced. Pounce. And she saw her meal ticket, and that was definitely not acting. Remember, she was given the choice to continue acting if she wanted to, and she said no. It most definitely was beneath her now that she's HRH and she's technically Princess Henry. Most definitely beneath her. So we get this extraordinary situation where she could really do with going back to Suits, because we now know that, Netflix is coming up for renewal in 2025. Will it, won't it? We all pretty much think that it won't, or certainly not to the scale that it is at the moment. And they don't really have any other things materialising. So Meghan most definitely could do with going back to the day job, reprising her role as Rachel. What was it, Zane? I mean, she's certainly zany, that one. Yeah, she could do with going back. She could do with going back and earning as much money as she possibly can from a legitimate career. Maybe try earning some money from something that is not dissing anybody else. Your own family, Harry's family, whatever it might be. Try earning an honest dollar, I think would be the key thing that Meghan should be doing. Of course, I think that she thinks that it's way beneath her standards and her position. She is the Duchess of Sussex. Oh, I'm the Duchess of Sussex, and I most definitely cannot do acting anymore. It's way below me. I can't mix with mere mortals. I'm something supreme. I'm the queen monster of Montecito. Yes, I don't think we will be seeing a return for Meghan. Most definitely not. If they offer her enough money, maybe she will. But I just really don't think so. I think that is completely off the cards. Definitely not anything that's going to be on her radar. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't noticed already, I do have a little bit of a cold. I am recovering from a cold. I think I caught it whilst using public transport on the return journey from my Caribbean cruise. So I am feeling a little bit under the weather, but I dragged myself out. I put on my finest pearls and of course the replica Queen Elizabeth's flower basket brooch, and of course the tech tiara, to bring you all the latest news out of Snake Mountain. So I do hope that you appreciate it, my loves. It was a struggle, but we got there in the end. So thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. That's very important, because I don't always think that YouTube pushes out my video to the correct people. So if you are in a group on Facebook or on the dreaded X, please just post and share my link. It really will help. to get this video to the right sorts of people. So from me, to you all, and goodbye.